joining us, Dan Spitz, the founder of Anthrax, was on with us. Both of his totally healthy twin boys that were already acting in movies at a year old got vaccines and gone. Lay on the couch for 5 days. Then this is everybody I've talked to. I mean, and a lot of people, the kids don't end up being autistic. They get the shot. You know, they go to sleep for 2 days. They don't talk for a while. Then they come out of it. And that's just God, you know, fighting through and helping the kids. But, you know, I like Candy Spitz, but what the establishment does is they say, don't be too radical. This happened with Jenny McCarthy. Don't be too radical. It scares people. Well, the globalists are radical, and only admitting how radical the attack is will defeat the attack. Okay, this is an attack. And, you know, she's like, well, space out the shots. Listen, I got 3 children. They've never had a needle in them. And we had our first child, you know, you fill out, you know, the orders you want. And they were like trying to not even give us those, you know. And then they're like, you don't want vaccines? And I said, look, don't try to tell me it's the law. Don't engage in fraud. And they left me alone. Now, a family that looks scared, they eye you like criminals, like a mark. They're like, this is neglect and abuse. And then they call it that. There's not even a law, and they take your kids. This is a psyop of evil. And I declare absolute resistance. God, just heal this land. I know as adults we deserve a lot of bad for what we've done, the abortion, everything else. I've been decadent. I've been bad in my life as well. But our Heavenly Father, not the children. I get physically angry up here when I'm covering these type stories, okay? I have nightmares. I'm going to be honest with you. One time, Mike Hansen, this family was about to have a baby. They had no criminal record. He was an auto mechanic. They were living in a hotel while they moved to another apartment. And they came, and she was blonde-haired, blue-eyed. So was he. Those babies can get $500,000. And I'll never forget. We were talking to the family. They were listeners. They called in the show. They said CPS is saying they're going to take the baby when it's born or might. They called the show. They gave Mike Hansen's cell phone number when he was running the Access TV show. This is like 15 years ago, 16 years ago. And they called Mike one day. And when we went down there, we opened the door because the police had got there, and the cop was choking the woman, literally like a movie, red-handed with his hands on her neck going, sign it, sign it. And the dad was kept outside, and the cop looked up at me, and he looked like a bad guy out of a movie, you know, like a guy you see creeping around parks or something, and it hit me, and my whole instinct was defend that woman, but I knew, he knew, America's mine. I got this kid, boom, I'm on it, like a wolf, and I knew. And then I famously, you know, went and called into a local talk show and broke down, and people thought it was my children being taken. They're like, well, he said it was somebody else's kid. Why is he so upset? I was like howling, crying. And it's because I realized they're going to kill everybody. They're going to, listen, what they didn't get is, you notice she was saying, well, it's a change of life now. It's now 1 in 50 from 1 in 25,000, and it's going to be 1 in 10 and then 1 in 2. And this is just the way we are, and you can't stop it. Did you hear her? You can't stop it. It's coming to you. And see, that's the PR being put out. This is just a way of life. Like, she's been through it. She's saying at a subconscious level, you will now drink of this cup. No, I won't. But listen, to the cops and everybody, you're all going to die young, too. You're all going to get neurological disorders. People are getting Alzheimer's at 45 now. They just call it dementia. You're going to die. Your family's going to die. You're all going to die. This isn't dramatics. I see clearly. I know the enemy. Okay? People say, why aren't you scared then? Because they're killing everybody. What is the point? I'm trying to find the avenue of attack on these people. I'm trying to find the life force lever to flip in you where you get some simple survival instinct. I mean, they have Lone Star College down in Houston, the same place 2 gangbangers shot each other, and they said, take the guns. Now somebody stabbed 12 people with a 1-inch X-Acto knife, and they're talking about banning X-Acto knives because society's a bunch of idiots stabbing each other. And it's big news. Oh, my gosh. And there's police and armed guards at that inner city college. I mean, that college is in the middle of the ghetto in one of the roughest cities in America. And thank God the citizens of Houston have guns to protect themselves, or it'd be like Chicago where killers are just killing everybody. I mean, they are sitting there with the X-Acto knife on TV with this doctor salivating over it, discussing the X-Acto knife and getting people to basically freak out in fear over it. And, a citizen with a 1-inch knife. Oh, they fall in fear because they're such cowards. People now, when a coyote comes out in the park, they fall down and it kills them. Coyotes never attack humans. People pull a knife, people now fall over like a movie to be stabbed. That's America. I had tried everything. I'd cut back the amount of food I was eating. I was lifting weights and jogging, but nothing was working. My body was literally starving for minerals and trace elements as well as key vitamins. And as soon as I had that, I immediately could eat half of what I was eating previously and be satisfied. Now, there are hundreds of great products at InfoWarsTeam.com, but I want to point out the 3 that have helped me lose 37 pounds in just 2 months. Products like Beyond Tangy Tangerine, Pollen Burst, and Rebound. When I started taking the Tangy Tangerine and other products every day, I lost more than 37 pounds in just 2 months. Now that's results. I want to challenge my listeners to go to InfoWarsTeam.com and to order just 3 of their products, and you will see the changes in the way you look, feel, and in your appetite almost immediately. Start your journey to health and wellness today. InfoWarsTeam.com. It's time to wake up. Realize the enemy's running over all of us. Time to truly live. Number 1, hate the enemy. Love your family. Stand up against these scum. I mean, you're under hardcore attack. The depopulation program is going on pell-mell right now. Liability protection for vaccines, GMO, aspartame to be added to basically every product under the sun, not tell you. Death to the left, death to the right, seizures to the left, neurological disorders to the right. I, for one, see through it. Mike Adams sees through it. He's got some breaking news here in a moment on Bitcoin. I haven't even gotten to this article. It's up at drudgereport.com, where the child had the water gun, well, talked about a water gun at school, and so they took the dad's guns at home out of his gun safe. I mean, it's just total Sovietization. Totally illegal. But they don't care. They do it. It's about them taking over to keep you safe from Al-Qaeda they run. And from the mass shootings they stage and set up by making them gun-free zones, victim disarmament, mass killer zones to teach the kids to crouch over in a good ball so the killer can get the maximum number of dead so they can hopefully get our guns next time. Well, guess what? We're on to you, and this is boomerang back on you. By the way, I want to announce the Infowars.com, InfoWarsHealth.com health challenge. I'm challenging listeners to get healthy in the face of the New World Order in the month of April. And let's put InfoWars Health up there on screen for folks. Again, I'm challenging listeners to go to InfoWarsHealth.com and sign up and try the great products like Beyond Tangy Tangerine, the Alex Pack, the Healthy Start Pack, Pollen Burst Plus, Root Beer Belly Probiotics, and almost 400 other amazing products, turmeric root, resveratrol. It's all up there, InfoWarsHealth.com, or give our great crew a call for any questions, 888-789-9277. If you need help getting signed up for auto shipping to get free shipping, that's a big discount. Give us a call as well. You can do it on the website, InfoWarsHealth.com, 888-789-9277, 888-789-9277, InfoWarsHealth.com, and getting your longevity products at InfoWarsHealth.com helps fund our operation as we kamikaze in the info war right into the enemy. Also, we have the lowest price out there on the Survival Seed Vault, heirloom, non-GMO stuff. Absolutely awesome for your summer or fall garden or your late spring garden coming up. That is available at InfoWarsStore.com, along with all the other great products. And don't forget the ProPure high-quality water filtration systems, which are the lowest price anywhere with the promo code WATER. All available at InfoWarsStore.com. That's InfoWarsStore.com, or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139. And hey, did you hear? Kids abducted by their own parents. They don't say that here in the USA Today article. Look at this article for folks watching on TV. Kids abducted in Florida, custody case taken to Cuba. Kids abducted. Yeah, you got to go to another tyranny to escape the ultimate tyranny. But see, America kind of has a parallel running. Like the old liberty's being destroyed while the new tyranny's expanding. There's like 2 railroad tracks here. So we're going to be breaking all of that down. Now, shifting gears here, ladies and gentlemen, is a NaturalNews.com story that you can also find up at Infowars.com. And I want to be clear here with Mike Adams, and I know he's being clear as well. We support digital fiat currencies, gold currencies, silver currencies, open source currencies, free currencies, diverse currencies, not just the private Federal Reserve note that masquerades as the dollar. I want to be 110% clear right now about that. My issue is my spidey sense months ago, or a year ago, when this first started getting hyped, when everybody's talking about it, you know, when did Kennedy's dad, Joe Kennedy, say he got out of the stock market when a shoeshine boy the day before it crashed told him, what stock to buy. Actually, he was an insider in Warren, but that was kind of his story. Everybody's getting into Bitcoin, and it's foggy where it came from. I'm sure some good libertarians are involved, but this can be used just like they used a fake test to discredit alternative energy back in the 80s to try to discredit and then outlaw digital open source currencies. And I'm very, very worried about this up front. I've not bought any. I could tell it was going to go up the way it was just being hyped and pushed in ways I didn't understand. And I'm very, very suspicious of the whole thing. And again, they've gone completely parabolic. It's going straight up right now. There's new documents out that the central banks are artificially depressing gold and silver to keep the bond market up and to cover up inflation. So this is going straight up while gold and silver is being driven down a bit right now, which I see as a buying opportunity. And again, I'm not against fiat currencies if they're private, public, transparent, and have somewhat of a history. And I get, well, it has to have a history by being born. Exactly. And the globalists will want to strangle these little babies in the crib, or at least give them an injection to dumb them down so they won't be troubled. It's kind of like a lion killing baby male lions or a grizzly killing baby male grizzlies. You know, the globalists do this to you now. They make sure the boys are brain damaged so you won't give them any trouble before the big robot rollout and the soft kill operation. So Mike Adams of Natural News pops in to get, he's a smart business guy and on many fronts. I tend to respect his opinion. Well, I don't tend to. I haven't found anything I disagree with Mike Adams on. That's rare to say. I disagree with myself more half the time listening to rebroadcast than I do with him. Mike, what is your take on this, and why are you saying the Bitcoin bubble, why speculative Bitcoin buy-ins now point to a disastrous Bitcoin crash? Mike Adams of NaturalNews.com.
Hi, Alex. Thanks for having me on. And I'm glad you pointed out that we both are supporters of a decentralized peer-to-peer cryptocurrency in theory. The idea is wonderful. We need competition for the central banks. So I'm not anti-Bitcoin, and I want to be very, very clear about that. In fact, we promoted it. I mean, our store even accepts Bitcoins. You know, we want people in Bitcoins overall, but what's happening now is it has converted. It's become too popular too quickly. It has become a mania.
By the way, you know I privately predicted that to you.
You did. Yes, you did. You're exactly right on.
Well, I smell something here.
Well, it could be that it's just people jumping on board. I mean, we're seeing this, you know, we have an office in Asia, and we've been getting inside reports that in China now, this is the new casino. Buy Bitcoins, ride it, you know, buy it low and sell it high. This is a speculative bubble in the making. It doesn't mean it's going to crash tomorrow. It may still go much, much higher. It could reach 500, it could reach 1,000, even $10,000 a Bitcoin. But eventually, it's going to crash hard. And I bet my reputation on that, Alex. I am 100% sure we're going to see a massive Bitcoin crash at some point with an ultra-accelerated velocity of the crash. It will be the fastest crash of any currency in the history of human civilization. And there are mathematical reasons for that I've tried to lay out in the story that I just published. I think it's up on Infowars. But it will be a high-velocity crash. The reason is because people are buying Bitcoins who don't know what Bitcoins are and who have no use for them. These are speculators. They're buying Bitcoins in the same way that people bought tulip bulbs in the tulip bulb mania of, I think, 1637. It's going to be the same thing. It's just a new vehicle, and it's going to crash Bitcoins eventually, at which point they will become a good value to buy once the crash has happened, Alex.
Go over some more of the mathematics for people.
All right. Well, Everybody who's holding Bitcoins right now believes that their Bitcoins are worth $200, $210 because that's the latest market price for the Bitcoins. So there has been literally hundreds of millions of dollars in valuation that has been artificially created by the ramp up in Bitcoin prices. So everyone who holds Bitcoins thinks all their Bitcoins are worth that, and in a grand total, it's well over $1 billion. In truth, though, once a sell-off begins, the greed that is currently pushing the market upwards will transition into fear. The price support will falter. The fear will start a sell-off. The sell-off will start to devalue the holdings that current people have in Bitcoins. Once they see their money dropping down, they're going to start selling.
That's right. Slow growth is always the healthiest. When something goes straight up like an Atlas rocket, it's going to go straight down, and you already see them putting money laundering rules onto it, just preparing to try to then outlaw any competing digital currency, because the globalists are actually going to go themselves on record to a global SDR backed up by carbon taxes, wellhead taxes, and money transfer Tobin taxes. So they will try to strangle this in the crib. They may even be pumping money into it so that they can then dump it later. I mean, if they didn't, look, I think like the enemy. If I was the enemy, I'd do that.
Exactly. The central banks would be very smart right now to be buying Bitcoins, pushing it up, making it very, very popular, getting as many people on board as possible. And then when the timing is right, do a mass sell-off of Bitcoins, flood the marketplace with massive supply of Bitcoins, causing a crash, causing Bitcoins to be discredited so that no one ever trusts a decentralized, non-government-run currency again. That's the brilliant, evil tactic of the central bankers, who we know are deeply engaged in psychological warfare and market manipulations. So I think they are involved right now.
I'm going to get to some other news with you. I want to get your take on here. North Korea, Obama bugging the phones through Mother Jones. That's basically a White House front of Congress. I mean, of course they are. That's what the NSA is for. I want to talk about that with you in a moment. But first off, any other points you want to make about Bitcoin?
Well, just remember that right now what's driving the Bitcoin market is greed. The idea that you can buy low and sell high. Greed will turn to fear, as it has always done, Alex, in the tulip bulb bubble, in the dot-com bubble, that I also publicly predicted that it was going to crash 2 years before it did. And I know you did as well. And in the housing bubble, every bubble in history has the same psychological profile. Eventually, greed will turn to fear. Fear will turn to panic. And remember that the Wall Street stock markets, they have limits of how quickly a stock can drop in a day. They will close the market if it limits down too much. So you have a limit down and a cooling off period overnight. Bitcoin has no limits. There's no cooling period. That's why when the crash begins, it will be the most rapid, high-velocity crash of any currency in history. That's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. Oh, and one more important point, Alex. There are some very, very smart people who are going to get very rich off of this, who have built in algorithms to sell Bitcoin when it drops below a certain fixed market value. It's an automated, computerized selling system. They're going to make money because they'll be able to get out. But the result of that system is that it will accelerate the downward spiral of prices faster than most humans can respond. You're going to see the Bitcoin exchanges overloaded during the crash, and people won't be able to get out until the value is...
What's your gut tell you? Because they've been having some minor glitches, I think, to train people to stay in when it finally mega plunges, to deliver the maximum profit to the insiders. I mean, is it possible that Bitcoin could have been created by the system itself?
My gut tells me that it wasn't. I think it was probably created by some libertarian-minded mathematicians who, by the way, right now are billionaires for sure. But it can be manipulated by the central banks and the system, and I think it is being manipulated. And my gut tells me that this may go considerably higher still, but the higher it goes, the worse the crash is going to be. And the ultimate goal is to discredit Bitcoin, which I am against. I'm a proponent of this cryptocurrency.
Absolutely, but the operatives will spin it that we're against it. Okay, I want to shift gears with you. You've got a lot of contacts in Asia, I know. I've never seen rhetoric like this. Korea saying they're going to blow up Japan, South Korea, and the U.S. Obviously can't hit the U.S., maybe able to hit Japan or South Korea, obviously, with their artillery, 10,000 plus pieces, no doubt. I mean, the perfect example of a collapsing psychopath with a bunch of weapons who can't even tie their shoelaces but have weapons because that's all they need. They want the guns. The people don't. You know, that's why Obama wants the guns. Threatening South Korea, that's just an exploding, fastest growing economy in the world, undoubtedly. I mean, this is unprecedented, saying we're loading the missiles tomorrow and, you know, saying things like, and you will be destroyed. I mean, this is unprecedented.
Well, as we talked about when I was a guest there in studio last week with you, I believe that America has the right at this point, the moral justification to go ahead and strike North Korea's leadership.
And we're always anti-war because we're not for invading Iraq that's done nothing, or putting Al-Qaeda in Libya and Syria. When somebody says, I have nukes, they're aimed, I'm going to launch them on you, boom!
Yes.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
But we have to make sure if that happens. And this is the one case in which I absolutely agree with the Pentagon to go in and do, you might call it a preemptive strike, but it's really a self-defense strike. I believe in the right to self-defense. I believe in that right for school teachers at schools, for individuals carrying handguns, and for nations to defend themselves against tyrants who are threatening to strike them with nuclear weapons. It's the same philosophy, just at a larger scale.
And China has backed off North Korea and told them to stop it. I mean, I think they should tell them one more threat to nuke Japan or South Korea or us, and I mean, just to decapitate his government. I mean, they've got all the weapons. They don't want to show those. I mean, but they can decapitate them with the meteor guns right now.
And what we need to do is go in there, wipe out the corrupt, criminal North Korean leadership, and deliver something resembling democracy to that country. I know it's kind of hypocrisy since America seems to be abandoning democracy, but at least don't the people of North Korea deserve
here's the
something
deal.
resembling
It's such
freedom?
an example of pure evil. That's why our government gave them the reactors in the mid-90s to make the A-bombs, because our government's just as bad. It's just they had richer people to build an empire off of.
Well, exactly. But if there were ever a case, a moral case for freeing people from enslavement through the use of military force, this is it.
And that's why they won't do it. And that's why they won't do it. Obama loves Mao Zedong. This is a Maoist state. I mean, they absolutely, he would love to set things up like this. And
yeah, they're probably getting ideas from Kim Jong-un of how to run Washington next. You know?
Let me raise another issue here with you. What do you think of the family having to flee to Cuba with their kids away from America, the evil parents that kidnap their own kids?
Yeah, well, we're seeing many examples of this. There's a homeschooling family from Germany that's also facing deportation. Look, parental rights are completely under assault. In fact, Paul Watson ran a story there on InfoWars, I think yesterday, about the collectivist mindset that MSNBC hosts, saying your kids are not your kids. The parent is the state. It is a collective mommy and daddy now that's raising and owning your children. This is getting very, very dangerous, Alex. It's not just the assault on the Second Amendment. It's the assault on individualism. It's the assault on parenting.
It is, what is moonshine, 200 proof? It's pure alcohol. This is 200 proof tyranny. I mean, what they're trying to do, what they're hiding in plain view, it'd be like your neighbor walking in, shooting you in the leg and then raping your wife in front of them, and the police show up and give them a medal. I mean, it's such evil ideas, so proven to be evil. Verified authoritarianism, just stomping around in front of us. What do you think of pimping out the dead kids, Obama? I mean, these people are sick.
Well, look at the traitors in Connecticut, the members of the state Senate and the state House who voted for all of those infringements on the Second Amendment. Those people, Alex, swore to defend the oath. They swore an oath to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and they themselves have proven that they are the enemies of America, the domestic enemies. But they swore
There's no doubt. I mean, listen. If they were really Americans in doing this, they'd be occupiers, revolutionaries, bringing in tyranny. But they work for foreign mega banks. They're open foreign mercenaries. I mean, I'm not just saying that for rhetoric. That's the New World Order.
I'm Darren McBreen, and these are some of the new items that are available now at InfoWarsShop.com.
Alert the public to Obama's blatant abuse of power with the new Obama t-shirt. Obama's Joker face on the front and come and take it on the back. It's time to publicly call him out for what he is, a tyrant. Defend the Second Amendment with our top seller Come and Take It t-shirts. And look at that, women's cut tank tops and t-shirts now available. Nice hat. Plus the Don't Tread on Me flag. And now you can become a micro distributor of the InfoWars magazine. Plus, get your own copy delivered right to your door each and every month. And if you're tired like I am of you and your family being exposed to polluted drinking water, get the Pro One high-performance water filter. It gets rid of all pathogenic bacteria, cyst, fluoride, heavy metals, and numerous other contaminants.
So join the revolution at InfoWarsShop.com.
Look at this. Nixon tactics declared. FBI asked to investigate. And Mitch McConnell's wondering how Mother Jones has recordings of them inside their private office buildings, because Mother Jones and Media Matters and MSNBC are all Democratic Party White House run. And as bad as Mitch McConnell is, he's not. Total New World Order, butcher everything, kill babies up to age 3, the state's the mommy and daddy, you know, total tyranny, bankrupt everything. And there's a whole Tea Party wing trying to take the Republicans over right now. So the globalists just want them out of there. And, of course, they're bugging everything. The Media Matters talks about how they'll get into media organizations and, quote, bring them down. These are spy organizations of foreign banks. These aren't liberals. Nixon tactics declared. I mean, Nixon had some FBI had some files, IRS files. They now digitize all your files and give them to every agency out there. Nixonian tactics. I mean, Nixon was nothing compared to these people. And again, I'm sure if we get a Republican in down the road who's a globalist, it'll be worse than Obama. It's just that this is how tyranny works. It gets worse and worse and worse. Look at this. Quake hits near Iran's nuclear Bashar facility. Ahmadinejad orders launch of 5 new reactors. War drums. Navy deploying laser weapon near Iran. We've got video of that up on Infowars.com. Report U.S. held secret meetings with North Korea in March. Well, that's, you know, our government gave them the reactors. South Korea and China don't like this. You know, have you ever thought Kim Jong-un may be working for the globalist? I don't think that's far-fetched. They gave him reactors. I bet that's why he's acting so crazy. That's what Pachinik was hinting at, that this was all a psyop. North Korea to launch, our government put the mullahs in Iran. Did you know that? North Korea to launch a missile tomorrow. Warns foreigners to leave South Korea. Another White House party paid for by taxpayers. It just goes on and on. Yeah, we just showed video of a laser. Show that again. A laser shooting down a drone. Star Wars, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to release a laser video here very, very soon that'll blow you away. Look at that laser. That's a little one. They've got them that are like 5 times that size in DC-10s. And that's all they need to actually be able to... somebody's out there banging on the door. By the way, oh, they're building the studio. That's so funny. Oh, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. There is just so much other news. Let's look at Infowars.com here. Here's some of the stories that just broke over at Infowars.com for everybody. Here on the main page. Gosnell worker heard baby screaming during live birth abortion. Well, why not? Kill them up to age 3. The state owns the kids. They say kill them. That's liberal. Peace prize. You give a peace prize to the abortionist. MSNBC host turns to Jesus in response to criticism of her collectivization rant. Promises to love her enemies. Yeah, well, you buy 2 billion bullets. This is not an attack. This is not an assault. Don't run. We are your friends. Time columnist warning others about government oppression is anti-American crap. See, they're scared of us talking about their oppression. They're scared of us talking about their secret police. They don't want us to have a debate that they're arming against us. They're scared of what we cover here. Big Sis tests drones that can detect guns. There it is, confirmed. That is a big story that deserves... In fact, I'm going to have that red link. Because first off, they showed a Homeland Security training video that showed, you know, them targeting gun owners. Like, oh, no, we don't plan that. This is domestic drones on local Oklahoma City news admitted for gun owners. And, of course, the big one that was up on Drudge Report, now at Infowars.com. Police confiscate man's guns over son's water pistol threat. PETA plans to fly drones that would stalk hunters. ATF recruits brain-damaged black man as stooge for trumped-up gun crimes. Yeah, when they did those payoffs at the Capitol, they rolled out black folks playing the race card. Look, scary black people, turn your guns in. They're the real racists, the race pimps. Visit Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the site, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want.